All right, welcome to the Board of Zoning Appeals August 12th hearing meeting. What are we adopting again? I should have prepared a little bit more. We're adopting our policy governing electronic meeting participation. I think all we really need to do is just take a vote, right, guys? Anyone have any comments that they'd like to talk about?
I do have some comments. This is Portia.
Okay.
I guess overall, and I'm not sure if there were some revisions because I didn't get a chance to go back and print, but I'm looking at the original one that were sent out. And I guess where it talks about recording in the minutes in specific nature of the personnel matter, have we considered what are the privacy implications with that? Like, is it saying that someone has to report if they're sick, if they have COVID, if they have a doctor's note? How specific should that be?
I think what we kind of just agreed to, and there wasn't necessarily an agreed to, what we discussed was that we would just say that the person wasn't there for medical reasons to just keep it general. I don't think it's necessary. I'm not going to say so-and-so's not here because they have COVID, so-and-so's not here because they have, they're in the hospital, or so-and-so's not here because they have strep throat. I don't think that that's necessary. And I think you're completely right. There are privacy implications, and it's none of people's business. They're not here for medical reasons, or they're on vacation, whatever.
Okay, so it's not as really specific, may not be the word to use there.
So
yeah, I think it's in the statute that we are supposed to use specific, but
HIPAA trumps that.
Yeah.
Portia, this is Stephen. The language specific that we have in the policy was taken out of the legislature, and the legislature never gave us kind of direction on how to interpret the word specific. So I think what Lindsay has said is correct. I mean, it's kind of up to us to interpret what specific means. I think specific in this case can say they're not attending for medical reasons. I think everyone is in agreement that we do not need to give specific, conditions or, symptoms of why they are sick. Like, I think that may be too specific. I think saying, for a medical nature is, our assumption right now is specific enough to meet the intent of the law.
Okay. Then the next paragraph that addresses it's limited each calendar year to 2 meetings. So if the person has an illness that goes over 2 meetings, does that mean they're off the board, or?
So I believe and Portia, this is Stephen again. Are you talking about subsection 1B? Such participation by the member shall be limited to 2 meetings or 25%.
Right.
So that would be 3.
Yeah.
3 and 22 and 3 and 23. Right?
But Portia's right. What are the implications if you have to participate more than that?
I think if you're sick, it doesn't fall to 1B, but it falls to 2A, which is for medical reasons, and that doesn't have the same cap. 1B is just for personal reasons.
Right. That's the way I read it. Is you get 2 kind of freebies for personal reasons, and then if you need more permanent, then it falls under, I think, C, the medical one.
And was there, I guess, going on to the next one, did we take out the issue of being 60 miles away with a primary residence? Because I don't think you can live anywhere in Arlington and be 60 miles away.
Yeah, we
Correct.
did.
Portia, the version that we have online for review and that I believe is currently up for discussion does not have that included because it's just not a possibility.
Okay. And then my final question has to do with, we talk about being absent for medical reasons or what's in 1 and 2? And I guess how does it apply if, like, we were scheduled to have a meeting yesterday and we couldn't meet in the building because the air conditioning was out? So if there are specific issues around other things, is it then limited that we can do an electronic meeting without having to really apply these same terms, or?
So, Portia, this is Stephen again. The BZA is one of the boards that doesn't have the ability to have all virtual meetings starting September 1st. They've kind of split it up into some boards and commissions have that ability, but anyone that reviews architectural plans is one of the stipulations, doesn't have that ability. So just like in the past where we've had to cancel meetings because of snowstorms or, inclement weather, the same would still be applicable here. We'd have to cancel the meeting if we can't get the in-person quorum.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, Stephen, go ahead.
That was all I had. Go ahead.
Okay, because my issue, as some of you know, is that I feel I'm in a very high-risk cohort, and therefore I have no intention of attending any meetings in person, site plan, long-range plan, all the other plans that I do ad nauseum. So, I mean, I can, I guess you can interpret that as medical, and I can go ahead and say that it's medical. But I think there'll have to be a little nuance there in my case. And I've already let the court know that of the issue. And I think there may be someone who comes in before the end of my term at the end of February. But otherwise, I would just follow the plan of 3 out of the 4 next ones and 2 in January and February, if we meet in January. So that's my issue, and I'll stay as long as I can, but I'm not going back to the courthouse. So if that's considered medical, I consider it life-saving. So, but it kind of depends on how you view medical.
If I get a vote, I consider it medical.
I do.
Okay.
And I support that plan.
Since, as Portia points out, this requires very specific references to each of us who don't appear in person, which is a little bit intrusive, but, it's not the same as being on vacation, which nobody would ever question. But somehow medical, which, should be more protected, isn't. But then there's no logic to a lot of what comes out of, the Richmond anyway, so.
No, I have no intention of airing anyone's medical situations to anybody in the public or to anybody, really. It's not my place to say. And it doesn't need to be in the public record that you're sick, you're out for medical reasons. That's it. Period.
Okay. Yeah, I think in the past when we've had people who are absent, we've been, as part of the record and in the minutes, the reason was never referenced. It wasn't because there was a death in the family or, work or any other thing. It was just 4 of you are here and 1's absent. So this is more detail than has ever been part of our practice.
And Judy, just to be clear, I don't think we would change that practice. If someone is absent, I don't think that we need to give a reason for their absence. It is only if they are participating virtually.
Got it.
We have to give a reason.
I see the difference. Mm-hmm.
But we can say this person is participating virtually for medical reasons tonight and then move on.
Okay.
Correct.
So if that's the case, then Judy, you would fall under 2 in theory, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, my intention would be that unless there's a replacement for me online sooner than they had planned, which would have been for March, then I would continue. I've said that I would do that. And if we're doing the 25% rule in 22, that should mean I could do 3 out of the 4 remaining in this calendar year.
To enter the BZA meeting on missing middle.
Right.
They're not discussing that right now, but the
What?
option of,
I'm hearing something about missing middle.
Someone is
Me too.
I
talking.
did too.
hitting the
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Okay.
Okay, I guess, does anyone want to make a motion to adopt the policy governing electronic participation in future BZA meetings?
Also move. I can't read it.
That's fine.
I will second.
All right, I'll take a vote then. Ms. Freshman,
Aye.
Mr. Kaplan,
Aye.
Ms. Clark,
Aye.
the chair votes aye. The policy governing electronic participation in future BZA meetings has passed.
With 1 absent.
Thank you. With 1 vote absent. It passed 4-0.
Okay.
Fabulous.
Quickest BZA meeting ever.
Yeah.
Yippee.
Yeah, I think, Lindsay, you can, with no other business, you can adjourn us.
This meeting is now adjourned. Everybody go about your Friday and enjoy your weekend.